Hey, this is going to be a little bit of an interesting video. I wanted to talk about a few things because Christmas is coming up, end of the year is coming up. This is probably going to be my last video for this year. But I'd rather, instead of just you guys looking at my face, I'm just going to play some Deep Rock while we're sitting here, especially because the Christmas event just started. So I'm going to talk about it while playing some Deep Rock. I'm solo currently, but that's perfectly fine. But I just want to talk about a few things while we're doing this. So, just mainly kind of about the some plans I have, things I'm working on, and just a few things. So, before I mentioned, I am playing with some mods. That's why I look like a kobold. I also have a few other visual mods on, and I have a mod that changes the music to music from the Terraria Calamity mod. So, don't question the weird music you'll hear if you don't know what it's from. But I want to talk about a few things. So, about plans for the future. In my Discord, several months ago, I asked people what they think I should work on next. And a lot of the votes kind of went towards a book that was more focused on improving combat in D&D, or guides to make engaging and fun boss battles. Which that music is loud. I'm gonna turn that down. I am so sorry about that. Just turn that down. So yeah, that was kind of for encouraging for better combat for boss battles, and I worked on that for a little bit. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm still working on it. I'm still kind of working on it, kind of not, because I'm planning out things. Oh, hello, Huli Hoarder. I'm planning out things currently. So, there's, with part of this whole thing I'm working on, there's a sort of trying to fit in with fun boss fights, because, a lot of the way of making combat interesting is trying to keep people engaged, keep people having fun without combat taking too long. Now, there's one idea I do have, which, at least for one of the things, because, it's not a common thing to happen, but sometimes in D&D games there might be what I like to call war encounters, where it's like massive army versus army, and I actually have a little thing I've been thinking of theoretically to work and how that might work. So, my idea with it is, with this war encounter, it is, you essentially separate, instead of having all of these different armies doing everything during the combat, instead you quicken up. Each round during combat, it is the squadron combat turn. So, instead of having individuals, you'll split up each armies into a bunch of different squadrons that will have a squadron bonus. So, say, you have an army of just regular soldiers, their squadron bonus could be, usually be about their average to hit. So then you can have a squadron with, soldiers with, their plus, I think they have a +4. With their +4 to hit, and then say they're fighting an army of skeletons, which I think are also about +4, +5. Essentially, if you do if you do the army combat rules, this idea that I have is you would have, oh hello, you would have the squadrons. Essentially, during the squadron turn in combat, you'd have a roll-off, and adding their bonuses. Whichever win, there's one squadron. The squadron is lost from the loser's side as this combat continues to go, if that makes sense. So, if, so say if we're rolling this and the human soldiers, or the humanoid soldiers, win the first round, that means their squadron defeated, one of the human squadrons defeated an entire skeleton squadron. And depending on the size of the army will depend on how many squadrons there are. And this is all still just very theoretical. It's kind of an idea I had this past week for doing army combat. But it also led to me realizing that this also can kind of work against massive enemies. Say you have an entire army trying to fight a Tarrasque. Now, because it uses the attack bonus, the Tarrasque is going to win almost every single time, unless they roll bad. And it would suck if they died really quickly because they rolled bad. So typically, if you're doing one big enemy, doing a bunch of boss enemies against a whole army, this big boss enemy should feel imposing. It shouldn't just be suddenly defeated by a small squadron, which means it should have a number of times it needs to be defeated before it finally goes down, if that makes sense. So this is kind of part of the idea I'm working on with this guide. Kind of a little fun idea I think would be really cool for a combat thing. Also because one of the projects I'm working on is going to involve some war combat. Which I guess is a good segue leading into this next part because of what is my next plan. Can I pick that up? No. So with what I'm planning next. So I don't know if this has a name or anything, but I have a thing where I hyperfixate on things, and once I hyperfixate on something, I hyperfixate on a lot of stuff, and I want to see them through as soon as I like them. So there's 3 projects I'm currently working on. It revolves with this channel and this and Kobold's Brew and the stuff I do. One, which I've already mentioned, is the TTRPG I'm working on. The Lawless Hearts, as it's called, which you use the 7 deadly sins and 7 heavenly virtues as your stats, which I think is pretty cool, pretty fun. I am also working on a campaign setting, which is also going to involve a lot of good... Oh, hello. It's going to involve some lore from stuff, but involving a campaign setting that is going to be involved in with this war combat, like I was talking about. Well, I'm working on that, and I'm also working on, my system. The system's going to take a while because it's still in playtesting. It'll be a while before we actually get, proper updates, unless things go really well with playtesting. We'll never know. But I expect that to take a while. With the with my campaign setting, I'm kind of just starting to work on it. But when involved with that, I'm actually planning out on doing a 3-shot special 3-shot with some friends, and I'll probably record it, maybe live stream it. I'm not sure about live streaming, but I will probably record it and post it on this channel to share with it, because it is going to essentially be setting up the campaign setting and also setting up some lore involved with what's coming next. Yes, this has been it's been enjoyable, because I really do, even with my hyperfixation issue that I know I have, I've still enjoyed doing what I've been doing. I've been enjoying creating. It's quite enjoyable to me. I know it's not everyone's thing, not everyone's a big fan of D&D, but I still don't really care that much. Yeah, but I'm definitely looking forward to this 2 to 3 shot. Not 2 to 3 shot. It's going to be a 3-shot, let's be honest. But the fun thing about this 3-shot, it's going to be a level 20 3-shot, so it's going to be insane. Some of the stuff that's going to happen. Which, yeah, it'll have answers, because with Arin's Archive, the book that it's already out, it's fully finished. I've even updated it for 2024. Congratulations, here's your update on that. Here's your confirmation that it's ready. This video just randomly like, oh yeah, it's ready. That's unfortunate. But yeah, no, with that, it's Arin's Archive is essentially also a precursor to things that are coming next. Even though I'm just doing a whole bunch of, fun homebrew stuff, it does all still have lore together, and I will start to build that all together. Oh, I broke that. I'll start to build all the lore together when I get the chance. That's unfortunate. Where are you? Yeah, so everything's going to be kind of built together in one big thing. Oh my gosh. Not taking fall damage there. Sorry, I was in the middle of talking, but chaos is happening. Oh my gosh. Chaos is happening, and I'm trying to talk and do it at the same time. But yes, all the lore is going to be connected We got a lot of stuff that's going to be involved in coming together, but this is also, even though, it's just kind of the start, it also can be considered somewhat an end of an era, because things are going to be drastically different. Now, I've gotten a lot of inspiration from the games that I enjoy playing, like, this campaign setting has a lot of inspiration from StarCraft, because I do really enjoy playing StarCraft. One of those games that I enjoy. As such, you've probably seen in the Kolsk video that the Kolsk was based off of the Zerg from StarCraft. Well, I'm now going to have a whole multiversal thing that's dealing with the stuff that's based off of Zerg and stuff that's based off of the Protoss in their own fun way, more just like psychic aliens. But yes, that's coming up in the future. But okay, sorry. But with the stuff I'm working on with this 3-shot, I don't know who all is going to be in it yet. It is still being planned out. I think I have 2 or 3 people who are guaranteed to be in it. But I'm also thinking about having some friends from some other channels be in it. Some people here may know them, some people here may not. The people from Rosemary PG Studios. They're some friends of mine. Whoop. And I've been thinking about, depending on how many space we have available, inviting a few of them over for the 3-shot, which I think can be fun and can connect some things. Because the 3-shot, it is going to be some multiversal stuff based, so really anyone from anywhere can be involved. I did not connect this yet. People from all over the place can be involved in it, so we can even see some fun spaces and some fun little references to other campaigns. Like, I've been thinking about trying to possibly pull a reference to, not a direct one, but like a subtle reference to things like Exandria, or I'm not watching enough to mention 20 to be able to name the stuff from there. But the Candyland one they did, the Crown of Candy, whatever the land was called. I think it was just Candyland. Just a bunch of ideas. And things that I think will be pretty fun. My dog just walked into the room. Hello, puppy. But yeah, I mean, that's actually, honestly, most of what I wanted to talk about with this, with things I'm prepping for. But yeah, that's most of what I want to talk about. For now, though, with that, I think that's with what I want to talk about. We can just finish this mission while I say, if you are interested in getting the... Hello. If you're interested in getting the 2024 version that, lines up with how the 2024 Player's Handbook is made, if you're interested in getting that version of my book, Arn's Archive, there will be a link to my Discord down below where you can contact me, and I can share it with people on there, because I am not putting the 2024 version on DM's Guild. I'm just saving that for the people who want it and don't want to have to deal with going through that. I mainly don't want to deal with going through that. Nothing against them, it's just my preference. What the heck? This is in a weird spot. Oh yes, if you're interested, you can join my Discord. I will leave a link to join my Discord down below. How the frick did that get there? I don't even know how to get up there. I'm gonna try this. This is a really bad idea. That was a really bad... I don't know how to get back up there. Okay, now that I've seen that, this looks like it's this way? I don't know, my sprint just disappeared. Yeah, it's this way, alright. But yeah, so I hope people are looking forward to the type of things I'm working on. I'm working on a massive, war-based campaign setting, multiversal war-based campaign setting, which I think will be really fun. As well as my system, and I'm also working on, as mentioned earlier, the improved boss fights thing, which that's a little harder to work with because I mean, I guess I can talk about that a little bit at this point. My issue with a lot of combat with D&D is not actually the way. It's not really structural. Like the way D&D runs makes it work still pretty well. The issue is the way DMs run it. Some DMs can run combat great, and some can't. A lot of it is in description and in the creativity and strategies the enemies and the players use. So it's not only DMs. Sometimes players can just be like, cool, I attack and boom, that's it. And it's all of a sudden just like, okay, well now it's just a numbers, not combat, it's just a numbers fest. So trying to make a thing for like, you know, improving combat in D&D, it's not just like a simple answer, it's complicated because it's people. It's not the game, in my opinion. Of course I can be wrong because I said something, I said an opinion on the internet, and of course it's always going to be wrong to someone. It's just kind of how it works. Ooh, good song. Yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of fun ways to do it, because, like, if you're doing a war encounter, the whole war combat thing I had, it'll work great for moving it along during the war combat. Like, the players can be doing their own things while all this is while all that squadron combat's happening in the background. Just on its initiative count, like layer actions would be. And for people who do actually know Deep Rock and are curious about my scout build, I am running the electromagnetic bolts on the sniper rifle, I think that's what it's called. Electrocution focus shots and the trifork volley with the magnified shafts on the crossbow. So that way I can focus shot, charge something, and then use the 3 arrows that home in on an enemy, home in on electrified enemies. So it all of a sudden becomes, this is probably like my strongest scout build I have done, because it can be very, very scary. It's not great in swarms because I'm running, you know, the sniper rifle and a crossbow. But on big enemies, it usually does really well. As long as I'm not, you know, talking about and trying to think about stuff while I'm doing it. Just yeah, that back there with Betsy. But no, I'm looking forward to this new year and some of the work I'm going to do. Any projects I'm doing, I don't plan to make them as big as Arin's Archive. I mean, 545 pages of content. That's what it was after the update, after updating it. And guess what? With the update, I even added some stuff. And it's still shorter. The update really was able to help me focus everything down and shrink it down to a manageable size. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And when I do this 3-shot, I am probably going to allow pretty much everything. So stuff from my book, stuff from other homebrew. Well, depends on, maybe some homebrew, maybe not. If they're popular enough, yeah, I say go for it. But if it's like lesser known things, I'd say probably not, because I want it to also be somewhat understandable to people and understandable to me as the DM for it, because level 20 can get really difficult to manage as a DM, even if it's only 3 shots, a 3-shot. But yeah, it's been, I think this next year, it's going to be a great year for me, because I'll be able to do this 3-shot, because I've already got some stat blocks and stuff worked out. Still planning out the players and who's going to be in it, but the stat blocks have been worked out. So we're getting close to being able to do this 3-shot and share it with you guys. And so that should be, I don't want to say when yet, but I feel like I might be able to do part 1 in March, January, February, or March, somewhere around then, because I don't know, I'm getting to that point. I'm getting to the point where that's my main hyperfixation, is planning out that, and I'm pretty much ready for it. So that should be coming soon, early next year. Should start seeing that 3-shot coming out. And then um, later in that same year, later next year, we should be getting, probably about midway through the year, we should be getting a little mini book of just a bunch of mini content, maybe included from some teases from the 3-shot, some recognizable names and stuff. Yeah, we'll see how it turns out. I think it'll be a lot of fun. If you, and from what I mentioned earlier, if you don't know Rosemary PG Studios, I definitely recommend checking them out. They do their own D&D live stream, D&D actual play live streams. During the streams, if you were join them in the streams, you're actually able to manipulate the effects of the game. They just recently finished their first campaign, like a month ago, month and a half, actually almost 2 months ago. But they're going to be starting up their next game. Come about a month or so, they're going to start up their second game, which is going to be really enjoyable. I'm looking forward to it because I watched the entirety of their first campaign. You know, they're friends, and also I really enjoyed watching D&D actual plays, and they're one of the ones I was invested in. It was pretty enjoyable to watch. I was invested in it about as much as I was for Critical Role because I've seen every single episode of Critical Role Campaign 3 so far. Yes, I'm up to date. I just saw 113. Finished that yesterday. I don't really get to catch the streams of Critical Role because they stream a little too late for me, but yes, Rosemary PG Studios, they stream every Friday. They usually start 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you want to check them out, definitely recommend giving them a check out. They are pretty fun, a little funny, and they have ways for the audience to manipulate and change the game, which is always a fun time. And I was actually in their Valentine's Day one-shot last year, which was pretty fun, because I was using stuff from my book, even though I was not the DM, but I was using stuff from my book in that one-shot. So yeah, I definitely recommend going to check out Rosemary PG Studios. They are wonderful. They have a lot more subscribers than me, so sadness. But that's also perfectly fine. I wish nothing but the best for them. Yeah, no, this actually kind of worked out pretty well, in which everything I wanted to talk about I talked about and more. And here's the end of the mission. So that was pretty dang great. Thank you all for watching, and oh yeah, by the way, I'm playing through Season 1 because I only started playing this game in Season 3. So don't question that. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful holiday season and a wonderful new year.